A growth-friendly fiscal consolidation means lower current government expenditure, especially unproductive. Possibly, if there is room, higher government expenditure for infrastructures, but especially lower taxes. And all this can be done only if it's accompanied by structural reforms. The banks will have first to exhaust all the private sector sources for capital. So they will issue equity, they will sell assets, they will do, and then they will gradually bail in creditors according to the list prepared by the state aid rules. Only after they have exhausted the list, they can use public money could be used. But public money could be used, but again, according to the prevailing rules in place now. ESM cannot participate to direct recapitalization of banks according to the agreement that has been taken. However, if there are countries that don't have room in their budget to access the means to be used in a public recapitalization process, they, in principle, obviously it's subject to the ESM treaty clauses and so on, in principle they could have access to the ESM resources that would finance their budget so that the banks could be recapitalized. What's the benefit of joining the currency versus being in the currency board? Well, one benefit, and we've seen how important that is the irreversibility of this choice. Currency boards are not irreversible. The second, however, much greater benefit is that in so doing, Lithuania will be sharing all the monetary policy decisions. And I'll stay at the ECB, and all the rumors to the contrary coming from some interested parties, perhaps, are unfounded. The idea of spending out of the crisis is not a viable one. One of the reasons why we have the crisis is debt. It's a huge amount of debt, both in the public and the private sector. And so to create further debt to get out of the crisis, so I don't think it would be the right way to go. So it's a mixture of things: lower taxes, lower unproductive expenditure, but most importantly is structural reforms. With the TLTRO, we are going to make funding for the banks very attractive. Very low rates for up to 4 years' time. Very attractive. So in principle, banks should lend more. But at the same time, if on the other side, if on the demand side, it takes 9 months to a year for a young entrepreneur to open a new business, and once it's open, he hasn't even started to work, he's already overtaxed, how much credit do you think he's going to ask us? That's why we talk about these aspects.